Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next game review. Today we will be talking about Pokemon Y version for the Nintendo 3DS. Now, it's Pokemon, what can I say? I mean, it's a great RPG, one of the most popular franchises of all time. Um, it's an interesting RPG all in all. I mean, as anyone who knows about Pokemon will tell you, it's a great game. There's so many different RPG elements. The degree of customization that you can do is insane. There's hundreds of different Pokemon to choose from. Each can have 4 different moves, which there's a huge list of different moves to pick. Each Pokemon's restricted on what they can learn, but there's at least one Pokemon that can learn every move. Um, in addition, they can hold items. You get 6 different Pokemon. There's several different ways to battle. It's just very complicated, and there's a lot to it, especially with the type advantages and everything. But that's just Pokemon in general. Now, Y version in specific, what can I say about it? First of all, um, it's a great game. I love the fact that you can actually move diagonally now. That's pretty cool. Every previous version of the game only up and down, and you had to stay in even squares. Now, if you're on your bike or I think roller skates too, you can be in the middle of a square, which is pretty cool. Um, it can cause some issues a little bit with trying to find hidden items and stuff. That can be a little bit more challenging to do when they're in the middle but other than that, it's actually pretty darn cool. Um, One of my biggest complaints about the game, though, unlike previous versions, it's more difficult to get your Pokemon over. Um, you have to have a subscription to I forget what it's called, but it's basically a box storage system where you can store your Pokemon there. It's like $5 a year, which isn't bad, but you have to pay for it. And then with that, you have a free service that lets you transfer Pokemon from Black 2 and White 2 to your boxes, and then from there you can do it to Y. Except for I don't think the service is even available yet. So yeah, I kind of don't like that. Um, I think it's a reasonable price for the box storage. I think you can store like 3,000 Pokemon in the boxes, which is pretty cool. But for $5 a year, that's not bad. But at the same time, we're talking about having to pay in order to get your Pokemon off of your game onto another game. That's something they've never made you do before. You've just had to have the right DS equipment. So, not exactly thrilled about that one. Um, yeah, just really not thrilled that they're going to require that. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's a great game. The storyline, like most Pokemon games, it sucks. The story sucks. That's just how it is, which is unusual because it's an RPG. Most RPGs have amazing storylines, some of the best storylines out of any genre of video game out there. But Pokemon, the story's terrible. It's the same as always. You're a little kid who just got old enough to get his first Pokemon, so now you're out on a journey to get all the gym badges and beat the Elite Four while stopping the evil organization that's trying to take over slash destroy the world. Yeah, pretty much the same old thing. It doesn't. That's the story of every Pokemon game. I mean, it varies slightly, but pretty much always the same thing, which is fine. It's an expected pattern. Everybody loves that. And it's not the story that people like about it. It's everything else. And even so, even though the story is kind of boring, it still gives you that sense of, I know. It gives you a sense of measure. Okay, I got 4 gym badges. Okay, I'm about halfway through the game. Good. You can measure your progress based on your gym badges, and you kind of expect regular interruptions from that, dealing with team whatever it has to be this time. I forget what it is in Y version. I haven't played it in a couple of months, but it definitely was a fun game. Like I say, the story isn't really the big seller on it. It's just not. That's not what makes the games fun. What makes the games fun is the new Pokemon. What are my new options to do? Um, I mean, there's 2 new evolutions of Eevee in the game, which is pretty. Oh wait, not 2. There's only one in this one. but still, there's a new evolution of Eevee in the game. A fairy type. Yeah, a new type in this game too, fairies, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they guessing they probably did it to try and balance things out a little because there were a few types that I think were a little bit too OP'd, so they threw in the fairy type to with a little bit of a balance, which is cool. They usually try and do that when they're adding new types, which they haven't added new types in second gen. The last time they did that was with Gold and Silver version, way back when. That was back when I first started playing Pokemon. So yeah, it's a good game. They've done a lot of good stuff with that. You can change your outfit in this, which is pretty cool. I mean, I'm not the biggest on style in that, but it's cool to be able to dress your guy the way that you would actually dress, or at least kind of close. They don't really have that great of options for it, so it's kind of hard to find anything that I found decent for the clothing in that. But whatever, it still was all right. Um, yeah, and you can change your face, and you can change a lot of stuff. There's a lot you can do with your character on that, which is cool. And there's stuff you can do with your Pokemon. Um, they just added a few more elements to the game, which is pretty cool. They gave a new way. A lot of people are really big on trying to get their EVs up, which only the more experienced players will even know what EVs are. They're called, I think, experience values, which basically what they do, the design of that is, it's to make an advantage for catching a Pokemon at a low level and training it up versus getting a high level Pokemon and training it up from there. If you train it up from an earlier level, it'll be better because of EVs. Which what they did on X and Y version is they actually came up with a system inside the DS where you can actually do mini games to train up your Pokemon's EVs, which is pretty cool if you ask me, because, well, yeah, that's pretty awesome being able to up your EVs outside of battle and be able to pick which way you want your Pokemon's EVs to go. So I really like that aspect of the game. It's just nice being able to choose how I want my Pokemon to evolve. Uh, yeah, I mean, if I want them to have particularly high speed, I could give them exceptionally high speed relatively easy. Um, in previous games, you'd have to go out and fight a bunch of flying type. I think was the one for speed. Um, I think there's other types too, but you have to go fight the specific types over and over again, which that's kind of a drawn out way of doing things. I mean, it's not the best way to play. But anyways, yeah, I think Y version's a great game. I really enjoy playing it. I beat it a while ago, and I'm looking forward to being able to try and get my Pokemon from White 2 over. But anyways, that's about all I have to say. So if you like the video, give it a like. If there's anything you want to add, um, feel free to leave something in the comments. If you want to subscribe to the channel, please feel free to do so. I would love your support. But anyways, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you.